Hey, what's going on, Who Dat Nation? It is yours truly, TJ Jones, the host of the State of the Saints podcast. And some of you probably thought about starting your very own sports podcast. Well, let me help you out. I want to tell you a little bit about Anchor. Now, if you haven't heard about Anchor, it's an easy way to make a podcast, and it's free. You don't have to worry about paying a bunch of money each month. There are creation tools to allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so you don't have to worry about that. So it can be heard on apps like Spotify and Apple Podcasts and many, many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. So go to anchorfm.com and start your very own podcast today. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Hey, what's going on, Who Dat Nation? It is yours truly, TJ Jones, the host of the State of the Saints podcast. And I don't even have to say anything, man. Y'all already know what it is. We got a special guest on the State of the Saints podcast. We got Big Q, man. Hey, Q, man. Every time I think about your name, man, I think about Juice. I don't know, like you remember when Tupac was like screaming for old boy, it was like, "Hey, yo, Q!" So, man. But we got Big Q on the show, man, from the Sports Coma, man. What's going on, Big Q?
I'm chilling, TJ, man. Much love to my dog, TJ, over here at the State of the Saints podcast, man. Like I said, man, I'm always honored to do a collab with TJ, bro. He a hometown man. He a Lower 9 man like myself, and much love to that brother on every level. Appreciate what he doing, his contributions to the Who Dat Nation, man. We got a real good guy here. Thank you, TJ.
Man, I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Big Q, for being a part of the State of the Saints podcast. Like I said before we even fired it up, you have a lot of people that have been looking forward to this, man. So, well, I hope we don't disappoint, man. You know what I'm saying? Especially from my end, but we got a lot of things to discuss. We got to talk about the New Orleans Saints, of course. We got to get into Alvin Kamara's contract, him returning to camp, and so many other things, man. But first, let's go ahead and start it off. Alvin Kamara missed 3 days of camp. Some people were saying it was unexcused absence. Some people say he was actually in the building. Big Q, what do you think about Alvin Kamara missing 3 days of camp and him coming back to camp on yesterday?
Well, that's a lot there, TJ, my man. You know, I'm kind of, you know how I go, bro. But I mean, it's what the thing about Kamara, man, is it's conflicting information 100%, TJ. Right, you know what I'm saying? We got the stuff that he was saying that initially that he was, you know, it was unexcused. Right. And TJ, you know what unexcused mean, bro. Yeah. That means you don't have the permission to take your, you know what, out of there. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So I mean, but you know, the way I look at it is, he had an opportunity, man, when it was all said and done, to kind of, you know, just leave it at that. You know, we knew he had the perfect alibi that you were negotiating his contract. Right. He could have just left it at that. Well, you know, we had a situation. I thought that I just needed to be away and just leave it at that. Right. Instead, then it comes out that he had took shots in his back, that he had a shot in his back. And I don't know how credible that report is, but Amy just asked Sean Payton about it. He gave a real disrespectful comment, like if if he's excused, and he was just, his whole aura was wrong. I just didn't appreciate how he attacked, how he went at the lady like that. But I just think that it's a whole big old mess, TJ. You know what I'm saying? Why would he go and use his own doctor for shots and not let the Saints personnel know about the shots? And I think then there was a situation with him and Sean Payton getting into it. And I think Sean was probably upset that he didn't tell him that he had some type of situation going on where he would need shots in his back. So I thought it was a whole big old convoluted mess, in my opinion, bro.
Well, I feel like the person that, or the people that leaked the story was actually the Saints organization. Because I look at it like they did it for leverage. Because if you look at Alvin Kamara right now, I mean, he has all the leverage in the world. I mean, we know what he brings to the table offensively for the New Orleans Saints, and the Saints know what he brings to the table. And they felt like by putting these stories out here, you know, and I never bought it, okay, because I feel like the media has a way of spinning things.
Yes.
Like, for example, like if I'm talking to you about a car, right, and I say, you know what I'm saying, what you think about your car? Well, you'd be like, well, yeah, I like my car. You know what I'm saying? It has like about 150,000 miles on it. If my car breaks down, I might consider getting another car. You know what I'm saying? That's like me writing and saying, Big Q gonna get another car. Like, you didn't say he was gonna get another car. You just said like there's a possibility. Right. I mean, there's also a possibility you can go to the mechanic shop, get it fixed. Right. It's the same situation when it came to Alvin Kamara, man. Like they probably was talking, you know, to the media. Media probably asked them what they think about the contract. Well, we want to get something done, but if we can't get anything done, we might consider a trade. And all of a sudden they ran with it. Okay. So I mean, so they had enough wiggle room in order for them to kind of maneuver themselves up out of it. It was just a big circus to me. I felt like he was in a facility the whole entire time. I think that it was the New Orleans Saints that leaked it. I never bought into this whole he was going to get traded because the Saints know where he is to that team. They know his value, man. And they need to pay that man. They need to stop playing. Like, they need to stop joking. Like, you know, I feel like a lot of people in the Who Dat Nation going at him, saying that, oh man, he's selfish, you know, but they weren't saying that when Drew Brees was about to get paid. You know what I'm saying? It took up the majority of the capital. You know, it's like, so this man is out here producing. This man is out here being a difference maker. Give that man his bread. Give him his Skrilla. That's all I'm got.
TJ, bro, you're 100% right, bro, on that, bro. You're 100% right, my man. And I think Alvin Kamara definitely deserved his bread. You know, I covered that on the show maybe yesterday and the day before that. The fact that we never make any bones about McCaffrey getting his money. Right. And then there's these percentages that they throw. Well, McCaffrey deserved the $16 million annually, as opposed to Kamara. He doesn't deserve it because he only represents 70-something% of the Saints offense. Right. And Christian McCaffrey represents 90% of Carolina. Well, I say, well, let's challenge that. Right. 90% of the offense means that you represent damn near all of 100% of your offense, which means your team sucks. Right. Carolina's terrible. They're garbage. Right. But even if you was to take Christian McCaffrey and put him on the Saints team, he would not represent such a high percentage of the Saints offense because Mike Thomas is there, Jared Cook there, and several other really high profile options are there for the team. Right. So I wouldn't necessarily go by this. And then just if you give him the 70%, TJ, that still represents 70% out of 100%. You can't go no higher than 100% of the offense, bro. Right. So that's still a high percentage offense. And based on his numbers, he sits entrenched between the $15 million from Zeke that sits above them. And I say he's over whatever they paid your boy from Cincinnati, Mixon, the 12 something odd million. So I agree with you. I think that should be the mark.
Yeah, and I think that is unfair for people to evaluate Alvin Kamara based on what the Saints ask him to do. It's not to say that he won't be able to do more things if he went to another team. You know, I think when you look at Alvin Kamara, I think you have a combination of a guy that can do several things. But if he was to go to like, I would say half of the NFL teams out there, I think he'll still be a quality back. And in some situations, he'll probably be like one of those top 3 backs. Right. I don't think people give him enough credit for running between the tackles. I don't think people give him enough credit for being a power back, you know, because when they think about him, they think about him doing finesse things, right? Catching the ball out of the backfield, lining up in a slot, lining up on the outside, or maybe throwing a pass to Josh Hill. But that's what the Saints want him to do. That's what they ask of him. It's not to say that if he was to go somewhere like Pittsburgh, he won't be able to run between the tackles, or Seattle, where, you know, they have those 2 tight end sets and, you know, they hand the ball off about 20 plus times a game. I think that he can be that type of back. I just think that what the Saints ask of him makes people believe that he can't do it. You don't average 4.7 yards per carry and can't carry the ball between the tackles. You just don't. I mean, that's the way I look at it.
Now you spot on there, bro. Dead on the money. You're absolutely right. Absolutely right. That's another incomplete crap statement, what I call craptastic statement by a lot of people that just don't get it about this man. They keep calling him a running back, and I'm like, that's that term. And then, of course, the stigma about the running back position being devalued has been just propagated. And now everybody, it's almost a fact now. Well, the running backs ain't worth they're a dime a dozen. Well, why they don't say that about a wide receiver? Right. Why they don't say that about some of these offensive linemen? A lot of them a dime a dozen. We got a dime a dozen offensive linemen on our team right now making $6 million. It should be making it. Right. But the reality at the end of the day, you are absolutely right, man. This man is on a very high. When you talk about him, bro, you add his it's a scrimmage yard situation. You talk about scrimmage yard, you adding everything together. Right. And he's up there with Christian McCaffrey. Now, I would even throw up there, TJ, and you tell me what you think on that if you take Kamara's production, and he had not gotten injured last year, his production would have been comparable to what Christian McCaffrey was doing.
Yeah, that's true.
So I agree with you on that with the inside, bro, because he's good at doing it, and you have seen enough of him to run inside that tackle. He's very powerful. Remember, he was dragging linebackers, running through the grafts of defensive linemen, which is not easy to do. So I definitely agree with you, T.
Yeah, but I mean, I just think that sometimes like we fall into that trap of what the media gives us. When they talk about Alvin Kamara, they look at him as a scat bag. I never looked at him as being a scat bag, man. And that's one of the reasons why we fell in love with him so much, was because of his ability to bounce off those linebackers, man, and have great balance. I mean, when you start talking about stuff like that, I mean, when you think about people with great balance, you think about people like the Emmitt Smiths of the world, the Barrett Sanders of the world, like guys that have great balance, they're elusive, they break tackles.
Right.
You think about guys like that. So I just never fell into that trap. And I know the national media, I really don't think they follow the Saints like we do. I mean,
no, they don't. Not even close, bro.
Right.
Not even close.
Right. We know the nooks and crannies of the New Orleans Saints, and these guys, they probably have their interns stay up all night. Give me some information on Alvin Kamara, and they just give them this vanilla information. Oh, he a scat bag, and they just take it and run with it. And, their voice is a little bit louder than ours because they reach a whole bunch of people nationwide, worldwide or whatever.
Right.
So that's the narrative of Alvin Kamara. But me and you, we know he's more than just somebody that just catch the ball out of the backfield. He's a guy that can do some everything.
Right.
Let's talk a little bit about the defense. We talk about Marcus Davenport. Let's start with him. Davenport, he gained 20 pounds of muscle. He looks bigger. He's a little bit more explosive than he was last season. And he already came out and said that he wants to be better than Cam Jordan. What does he have to do to be better than Cam Jordan, Big Q?
Stay on the field, TJ. Simple as that, my brother. Just stay on the field because Marcus Davenport, man, he has so much potential, bro.
Right.
He's an athletic freak, bro. He's 6'6", 6'7".
Right.
He has cat-like quickness. And then people underestimate his strength prior to this shit, but he's still very strong. But his problem has always been he could not fight off the injury bug.
Right.
And I'm thinking that, and I've said that a couple of years ago when they drafted him. I said, you don't have to look at Ziggy Ansah or any rest of these other guys. Look at Cam Jordan. And I think with him working out with Cam, with the whole C19 stuff and him working out with Cam and him working on his technique, and I think he will get better. But the issue is, can Cam just needs to stay on the field, bro. And he'll realize everything, his entire potential, everything, if he can just fight that injury bug and stay on the field.
Yeah, I think he has a lot of potential. Everything about him analytically shows that he's on the uptick.
Yeah.
I think that he has all of the tools to be better than Cam Jordan. I think that he does need to work on his technique. And I think that people underestimate his run stopping ability, which I think is probably the best part of his game right now.
Right, but he's really good at that.
Yeah, I think those 20 pounds of muscle is going to help him, man. I mean, it seems like that's been a narrative of the New Orleans Saints team. I mean, you look at Andrews Pete, he actually lost 15 pounds. He talked about that in the interview yesterday. Mm-hmm. You look at Carl Granderson, who actually gained about 20 pounds of muscle, so it seems like these guys are really just taking it serious. And I'm interested to see, man, what type of player he can be. I know I have an issue with people giving up on guys that the Saints draft so quickly. I mean, this guy had 2 seasons, and I mean, he got hurt in both seasons. All of a sudden, people are starting to whisper the word bust, like bust. But I mean, but if you look at his stats, and I've said this countless times, if you look at his first 2 years and Cam Jordan's first 2 years, he's better than Cam Jordan in his
Great point.
2 years.
Great point.
I mean, I just wonder, like, why was it that we had so much patience with Cam Jordan, but we didn't have enough patience with we don't have enough patience with Marcus Davenport, which I feel like he does deserve. I mean, he had 4 sacks before he ended up getting injured in the last 2 weeks of the season. So the last 2 games he played, he had 4 sacks total. So he was starting to like find his groove, and unfortunately, he ended up getting hurt. But I'm not ready to give up on him yet. What about the Jadeveon Clowney talk? Everybody wants Jadeveon Clowney. Everybody wants to see Jadeveon Clowney in the Saints uniform. Would you want to see Jadeveon Clowney in the Saints uniform? Is there a place for him?
I don't. I would love to see someone of his talents here. To be honest with you, because I'm of the ilk, I'm of the school that we definitely need another pass rusher. I would like to have a veteran pass rusher to kind of prop up Davenport. I'm not really big on Hendrickson. I do like Carl Granderson, but he's still very much of a question mark.
Right.
So, for the interest of Super Bowl or bust, because obviously this is the narrative that everybody's pushing toward us. You know what I'm saying, TJ? It's a Super Bowl or bust year. Right. So a guy like a Clay Matthews or even a Ziggy Ansah, a Jabal Short, or even a Cameron Wake, a veteran defensive end that can come in and kind of alleviate the pressure off of Davenport, because he's not a bust. I agree with you. I think they're wrong to create a bust. And I think the difference between the patience with Cam when he first came in, I call him flat top Cam. When flat top Cam first came in, he wasn't very good. He wasn't very good, bro. It took him 3 to 4 years to finally arrive and become dominant, man.
Right.
But the difference is with Davenport, I think it's the patience of the family, the family base is very short, because this is in Drew's final year, and we need to complement next to Cam Jordan to kind of get that pass rush together. The last 2 years has been wanting, and I think it's unfair. And I think going into next year, they'll provide a situation where you can kind of walk him slowly in it, like you did with Sheldon Rankins. When Sheldon Rankins coming back, you won't start him, TJ. You'll put on your mind in front of him, and if you're going to move him in, kind of incrementally do it. I think that's the move that should be for Davenport, because if he gets hurt again, that could be really detrimental to his psyche as a young player.
Right.
And I think that him packing on the muscle is good, because he needs that extra 20 pounds to make him a little bit more durable to deal with the season. But he did miss several practices in a row, and some people are speculating that that's not because they're giving him rest, that he could have possibly developed another injury, even though he did come back the other day. So, I mean, I think it's a shame. I would never say that, TJ, about him being a bust. I think people are saying that need to be a little bit more patient with Davenport. And in terms of the Jadeveon Clowney talk, bro, I don't think the Saints will go for him. I think the Saints that ship is sailed. I think Everson Griffin would have been a better move for the obvious statements that I said.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with the Everson Griffin take. I was hoping that the Saints would have ended up bringing him into the building.
Me too.
But I really think that the Saints believe that they actually have a good collection of guys. I mean, the only problem is I think the Saints can have a dominant defensive line. It's just the health issues, like, not being able to count on guys from Sunday to Sunday to be available for your team. For example, Trey Hendrickson, right? I know you say you're not a big fan of him, but the first 2 weeks he led the team in sacks. He had 4 sacks, right?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden he had the neck injury. We didn't see him anymore. Carl Granderson, a person I'm pretty high on. The reason why is because the guy spent 6 months in prison, before he even came to the Saints,
Right. What a roller coaster that was, wasn't it, TJ?
Exactly. I mean, just imagine what this guy has been going through, or what he went through last season. I mean, you're in prison for 6 months. You didn't know for some time. They didn't even know if he was going to get out.
That's right.
I mean, luckily, he was able to, get out, and the Saints had confidence in him. They believed, what he said, and the story that happened. I don't want to get into it, but they believed him enough to put him back on the team, and he was productive for the most part. So that's why I say I look at these young guys, and I think that these guys have what it takes, and that's probably what the Saints are looking at. And they probably don't believe they need to get a Jadeveon Clowney. A person like Cameron Wake, I feel like that would be a good idea. I have to agree with you on that, because there's a difference between Cameron Wake and a Jadeveon Clowney. If Jadeveon Clowney comes into your
he's
defense,
starting.
Yeah, he's threatening the guy that's starting, and I think the Saints understand, like, you don't want to mess with the confidence or the psyche of Marcus Davenport. especially if you feel like he's trying to develop and you want him to be the future of your franchise post Cam Jordan. But somebody like Cameron Wake, who has seen it all, who has done it all, who's a seasoned veteran, who's probably just going to be a part of the rotation and not a real threat to Marcus Davenport, I feel like he would be a better fit versus a guy who is coming in, who feels like he has a lot to prove, and he's probably playing with empty pockets because, as you can see, nobody wants to gamble on him right now. So what's he going to do? He's going to come in, he's going to put his best foot forward and try to put himself in an elite tax bracket in the next for the next offseason. So yeah, but go ahead, man.
Yeah, I mean, not to cut you off, TJ.
No, go ahead, man.
I agree with you on that, bro. I think the Jadeveon Clowney thing is like I said, like Everson Griffin better. I think we've seen a lot more of Everson Griffin, 75.5 something sacks on his career.
Right.
He's been a Saint killer for the duration of his Viking team. The Saints tore up their offensive line because of Everson Griffin and what Danielle Hunter do. But if you go back and look at the film, it was mostly Everson Griffin in there wreaking havoc. He puts on his best version of himself and takes it personal when he takes on the Saints. So Everson Griffin for $6 million to your rival to the west of us, Dallas is absolutely is preposterous to me. I think Jadeveon Clowney's there because people are looking for a Super Bowl or bust move. They want the Saints to show them something on defense to let them know. And I think and listen, I'm not saying go and get Jadeveon Clowney because I like I said, I like Everson Griffin better. But even if they did, let's say if they actually did make that move, I think it'll be a 1-year deal or whatever. He sits there, and what I would do is split their reps if such a thing was to occur, because Cam is so versatile. You can kick him inside, outside, but it's that Super Bowl or bust, that move to go over the top. I think a lot of people is kind of pushing at it. You know what I'm saying? That move to take us over the top. And so as far as your Trey Hendrickson thing, you're absolutely right on Trey Hendrickson. Trey Hendrickson, when he's there, he's very productive. But that's the issue with Trey Hendrickson. He's been there less than Davenport, and he's Davenport's backup. Yeah. So, I mean, when is he going to finally put it together? And if they do, it's like people are very leery of having all these collection of defensive linemen that are ultimately all hurt competitively and repetitively together. And then you say, okay, finally this year they're going to all put it together. People are a little leery about that because they haven't seen it before. That's all I want to say.
Yeah, I mean, people are expecting the Saints to try to put this super team together, put all hands on deck in order for them to get over that hump. I mean, especially when they're looking at the next team I want to talk to you about, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I mean, we got to talk about it. I mean, the game is coming up next Sunday. I know we're all excited about that week 1. They just signed Leonard Fournette to a 1-year deal. Yeah. We know about the offensive firepower they have. I mean, their pass rush isn't nothing to sneeze at either. No. I want to ask you about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. What do you think about them? What do you think about Tom Brady? And what do you think Leonard Fournette can bring to the table?
Leonard Fournette's a battering ram, bro. I mean, he'll come in there and he'll run angrily. You know, he got a 1-year deal and he's going to try to, make something happen. Whether he stays with Tampa or not, he's going to try to make a case with another team or an extension somewhere. Right. But Tampa Bay is a serious threat to the Saints in terms of, I think I'm not really too much concerned. I think the Saints, interiorly speaking, defensive line can be able to handle them. I still say the strongest part of our defense overall is the interior defensive line. We are just so strong there. And I think we'll be one of the best top 3 in the NFL, if not the best. So I'm not really concerned with that aspect of the stopping Leonard Fournette, but they are putting a collection of pieces together that's pretty much interesting, and they swinging for the fences, TJ. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to bring this here thing on home to Tampa Bay. They know the Super Bowl is up there. Right. They putting Gronk, and then, of course, Tom Brady's one of the best, man. He's one of the best. He's chasing Drew for whatever records Drew has. He brought Gronkowski out of retirement. He's a weapon there. Then you have those 2 talented wide receivers there, bro. And don't forget that even though it's not the same Shady McCoy up there, he's still a guy that can help out in a limited role. The defense is littered with a collection of LSU players that that I like a lot. There's a lot of youth there. The defensive line is interesting as well. Vita Vea, the rest of those guys. So I mean, man, we got to handle our business, bro. You got to handle our business. These people coming for the Saints. I've been saying that, man. We can't no longer sit on the hill and say with our hands on our waist and say, "Oh, we the bad, we 3 times." Now you can't do that no more, man. They got teams that got you that go to sleep with you with your face on the bullseye, and they're shooting at you. So they're a team to watch out, bro. No doubt.
Yeah, I just think that the chemistry aspect of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is going to be a concern early in the season.
That's true.
Now, you might see it start to develop midway through the season, but I think the Saints have the advantage in that regard. Look, if we playing Madden, Big Q, then I'll be concerned. I mean, I don't know what it is. If we're playing Madden and I was simulating a game, then I'll probably be a little bit concerned.
Right.
But I do feel like the Saints, with the team that they have, I feel like with the addition of Emmanuel Sanders, and I feel like the addition of Malcolm Jenkins really is going to help the Saints tremendously.
Yes.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they have a really great roster. I mean, full of usual suspects, not usual suspects, familiar faces and nostalgia acts, but that's cool. Well, I will say this about Leonard Fournette. I feel like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have their next running back for the next 7 years. I think they're going to re-sign him. If you look at somebody like Ndamukong Suh, I don't feel like they're going to bring back. I don't think they're going to pick up Vita Vea's fifth-year option. And I don't think like they're going to bring back like somebody like JPP. There's going to be a place for Leonard Fournette. And I think they understand that Tom Brady is on like a 3-year deal. Eventually he's going to retire, right? So I always say the best friend of a young quarterback is a good offensive line, a good defense, and a running game. So if you keep somebody like Leonard Fournette who can give you 25, 30 carries a game, he can be that bell cow back. It can help out once Tom Brady decides to transition into retirement. So, but back to the New Orleans Saints, like I said, I'm not cocky or arrogant like some people are, and all up in the chats, all up in the groups on Facebook and other social media outlets talking about how the Saints is going to dominate. Look, I know that Tampa is going to be a threat. Okay, Tom Brady, I mean, he has 6 Super Bowls. Regardless of how you want to talk about it, he won them. Rather you talking about deflated footballs or binoculars over a stadium looking at your plays, whatever you want to say. The guy has 6 Super Bowls. He's arguably the greatest quarterback that ever laced up a pair of cleats. And just because we got Drew Brees on the other side that can call plays, trust and believe, they got a guy on their side that can call plays, that can manipulate defenses just like Drew Brees can.
That's right.
We have to be on our A game come week 1. I'm excited about the game. I know there's not going to be any fans in the stands, and I get it. The crowd, the Superdome is loud and crazy, but it comes a time where, one team has to go up against another team and may the best man win. To me, this is almost like, a national championship game, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nobody just there cheering for one particular team. You know what I'm saying? It's split. So, I mean, you don't have any fans there. So it's kind of going to be like an atmosphere like that. May the best team win. Yeah. I just hope that the Saints are ready. I think that they have all tools on deck, and I think that the Saints can go toe to toe with them. I don't have any doubt about that. Malcolm Jenkins is the last question I want to ask you. Malcolm Jenkins comes back to the New Orleans Saints, come from Philadelphia, played there 6 years. Now he's in the secondary alongside some very talented cornerbacks and safeties. What does he bring to the table? And do you think he is that missing piece to help the Saints get over that hump, especially late in the fourth quarter? Can he help him out?
Well, bro, I had to do that. I had to shoot an amen on that one there, TJ, man. You're absolutely right. What Malcolm brings, man, is he's very intelligent, man. Very intelligent on the back end. And what he's really good at is on-field mentoring, man. He helps the younger guys around him see things that they usually wouldn't see. So, I got to give Malcolm Jenkins that. High intelligence is why the Saints have him back. It's good to see him back here, and the Saints black and gold, by the way. Good to see him back. And I think he'll help Marcus Williams out tremendously back there, by the way. And he'll help him, perhaps have him to help him take that next step to where he belongs. So I think that's a major part of it. And Sean Payton, you can give him major credit for bringing Jenkins back because he recognized that intelligence back there late in games, and more importantly, in the playoff games, is where we need him. And you'll see guys like Sanders, Emmanuel Sanders, and Malcolm Jenkins really thrive in that role.
Yeah, I think Malcolm Jenkins is a really good, smart, instinctive football player.
Yep.
I think him leaving the New Orleans Saints probably was the best thing that ever happened to him in his career. And, I hate to say it like that, but sometimes guys have to leave in order for them to, come back and be the player that you wanted them to be in the first place.
You're right.
Look at somebody like Patrick Robinson. Patrick Robinson, I know he's been hurt, but he's a much better player than he was when he was with the Saints coming out of Florida State back in 2010.
Right.
Sometimes you got to go somewhere, you got to learn different defenses. You got to, learn different schemes if you're an offensive player or whatever. And if you just so happen to go back to the team, you might be a much better, more polished player. Malcolm Jenkins is a leader on the field and off the field. He has 2 Super Bowls. He automatically comes in with cachet. He automatically comes in with players actually respecting him for what he has done as far as with the social justice issues, galvanizing the rest of the players, trying to get things passed, getting money in order to try to help some of these causes. The guy is just A1. There's nothing, much you can just say about that. And the defense in training camp has been getting the best of the offense. And that is what you want to hear. You definitely want to hear that your defense is getting the best of your offense, because we know for years the New Orleans Saints offense has been dominant. And in practice, we heard the defense getting roasted and toasted out there. It's good to hear that the defense is getting the upper hand on the offense, because that means that you're not going to be playing high-powered offenses like the Saints every single week. So the defense can go out there and have a really big game, man. So I'm really excited about that. You're going to play the Kansas City Chiefs. You're going to play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You're going to play Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers, high-powered offenses. So you want to hear your defense is getting the upper hand on the elite offense like the Saints. But Big Q, I want to say thank you very much for being a part of the State of the Saints podcast. I really do appreciate it. And before you go, man, let everybody know how they can get in touch with you.
Oh, sure. Thank you, TJ. You come on over to the channel. We're gonna have TJ to come on here, man. We're gonna make this a regular thing here for my dog TJ to pop on at least once a month. Try to get you on there, bro.
I appreciate it.
But yeah, you can go over to the PRO Media Network on YouTube, and you can find me there, or Pro Radio, several different things. Facebook, Big Q and the Guys podcast. Twitter's the Sports Coma. But just put in there the Sports Coma, and you'll be able to find me on there on YouTube.
Yeah, man, definitely, man. I also want to give a special shout out to Kevin, who has donated. He said, "Thank you guys for doing this. The national media doesn't follow the team daily like we do." I mean, that's the truth. I mean, they don't follow that. Special shout out to Derek. I see my boy Chemo in here. Jared Poor Jr. I mean, Everett. I mean, so many, man, people that follow the State of the Saints, as well as your channel as well, man. So it's always good, man, when Saints fans can get together, discuss football, discuss the New Orleans Saints. I really do appreciate it, Big Q, and we're looking forward to your commentary, man, on the Sports Coma. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate the invite, my brother, and who that to you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you, man. Y'all, you take care.
You too, bro. Peace.
Yeah, man, that's Big Q right there, man. Shouts out to him. Good, solid dude right there, man. So want to say thank you all for checking out the State of the Saints podcast. Be sure to check out the audio version of the State of the Saints podcast on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Anchor FM. I'm really trying to push the audio podcast. So I'm asking each and every one of you to take a few seconds, just a few seconds, to subscribe and follow the State of the Saints podcast on one of those audio streaming apps. Also, Facebook.com, search The State of the Saints podcast, and also YouTube.com, search The State of the Saints podcast. And now the State of the Saints podcast is sponsored by POW Audio, man. So y'all check out powaudio.com, POW audio.com. They have, man, a portable speaker. Check this out, a portable speaker. You know what I'm saying? And you can actually close it up and open it up. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can fit it easily into your backpack. It's water resistant, and they have so many different Bluetooth speakers to choose from, man. Collapsible Bluetooth speakers available on powaudio.com, powaudio.com. Thank you all so much. Really do appreciate it. We'll be back a little bit later, and I'll be able to take some of your questions. But this is the State of the Saints podcast, and all I got to say is, who dat?